You changed something and they felt it immediately. It wasn't over time. It was literally in that same moment. So there was this point where the way you showed up with them just didn't feel the same anymore. So take a sec. Choose your pile. We have card 1, card 2, card 3, and card 4. So let's get into pile 1. Okay. The first thing I'm picking up for this pile is that you've changed how you show up communication wise. So this is something that this person didn't have to question ever before. Oh yeah. So they felt it right away. This is the first moment here. So they reached out to you and they were expecting you to show up as you usually do, you know, like be, I don't know, always there the way you do. It seems like you reply pretty quickly here with Judgment and Aries. Libra shows that you keep the conversation going and that you keep, like, you add your own portion to the story. But this time, it was a shorter interaction, more to the point. And that's when they sort of felt it. So this person kind of was thrown off by that. This person, oh, so it wasn't just the message itself that changed things for them. It was how it felt. It was like something in your energy wasn't as open as it used to be. So this person noticing themselves kind of like pausing, staring at the conversation, trying to figure out, am I reading into this too much? Am I not reading into it enough? What's this pattern that's happening? And then it didn't just happen once though. It happened multiple times. This is a pattern here. Yeah, 9 of Cups. Them reaching out, you not carrying the conversation like before. The King of Cups suggests they had to put in more effort here too. So this could have been like they send you something open-ended, like trying to start a conversation. And instead of you building on it the way you normally would, you give a simple reply. And there's no follow-up questions. There's no extra energy put into it. There's nothing. And then the conversation just stopped. What really got to them was they realized they were the ones trying to keep it going, which isn't usually how your relationship used to work and used to feel. It feels like this person, yeah, you used to be the person that would add more, keep things alive with Aquarius here. So right here is when it started to get them to clue on. They're like, why does this feel different now? Why do I feel like I'm the one reaching more? Here's the Tower. Did something change on their side? Did I say something? You know, this is like in a moment where they like sent you something expecting a certain response, something that you guys had planned already before. And you would usually be enthusiastic about it, but your reply was like, well, I don't know if I'm still going, or I don't know if I want to go. And like right then they're like, damn, I'm not a priority anymore. Especially with the Magician here. It's like, okay, they're still responding to me. They're still acknowledging this thing we were going to do together or this place we were going to go, but she doesn't seem interested anymore. That's what it feels like. So, but the thing here is like, you didn't explain this to them. You didn't say anything directly to them, but they felt it through your behavior. So, pile 1, what you changed here wasn't one big obvious thing. It was the way that you communicate, the effort, the energy. This is about the way that you engage with them. And they felt that change as it was happening. And it's been sitting with them ever since. And they just can't let go of it. All right. If you'd like, follow us into another pile, or I have a bonus collective message at the very end of this video. So we'll meet you there. Bye. Pile 2, welcome. So for this pile, this feels like it feels less about communication and more about your energy when you're around them. Okay, so what I'm picking up is you didn't have to say anything. They felt it the moment they were physically in the vicinity of you. Like you guys were in a class, at work, somewhere close proximity. Like, so there's this moment here. You were in the same space as them and something about you just felt off, different, but it wasn't like obvious. You were still there, still present, but it was like your energy wasn't leaning towards them the way it used to. And oh yeah, it made them feel a bit caught off guard here. So this is someone who's used to feeling like they have your attention with Scorpio. Like even if you weren't directly interacting with them, they were still always your priority. Your energy was like always connected to them. Okay. But here in this moment, this feels like you were more in your own world, more like self-contained. You weren't scanning the room for them here. You weren't gravitating towards them. Yeah. Page of Swords. They felt that immediately. Okay. So like this could have been something like you're both in the same room, same party, same class, same work setting. And instead of catching each other's eyes in the room, you don't. And you're like intentionally trying to avoid them. You know what I mean? And it's subtle, but they do notice it. So this person kind of pauses, you know, when it happens and they're like, wait, what? Why does this feel weird? Why does this feel awkward? That's what they're asking. Because they're used to this certain level of like intention from you. So even if it's the unspoken thing, you put them as a priority. I was going to say on a pedestal. So you're around this person, but you're not engaging with them the same way. You know, you're not giving off the same vibe, giving off the same like pull. And they're realizing they don't have the same access to you anymore. Here's the conflict card just fell out here. So look at this though. There could have been a moment where they expected you to come over or say something to them at a party, because this is a gathering, 3 of Pentacles. You didn't. You stayed where you were. You stayed steady there on your horse. You see that card popped out. And that's when it really hit them. Like they finally realized, oh, okay, this is true. They are, I don't know, like they're here, but they're not here. They're not available. This is what's going through their head. There's this obvious distance now that wasn't there before. So it puts them in this space where they're like trying to understand it, trying to figure it out. They're like, did I do something? Are they pulling away? Are they like, what did I do? Why is it different? But they don't have the answers, right? So whether it's, you know, intentional or not, your energy is coming across as way more confident in yourself than it used to. Like you're not affected by them. You're more confident in yourself, and that changes everything. So what you changed here wasn't your words. It was your vibe in a room. It's the way that your energy shows up around them. And they felt that immediately without you even having to explain it. Pile 3, welcome. All right, what popped out here? Okay, so Leo. So for this pile, what you changed wasn't your presence and it wasn't your communication like the other 2 piles. This is your reaction to things, your emotional shift, because you're not reacting to them the way you used to. So it looks like something happened between you two, or they said something here that normally would have really gotten a reaction of you. Like this might have been when you guys were out on a date. They did something that didn't sit right with you. And I feel like they checked someone out intentionally, like, and they did it to see if you were still invested in them. Like they know that that would normally piss you off. Or they were being a little too chatty with the waitress, or, you know, something like that. This person was trying to get you to respond in a certain way. So this exact moment though, there's a clear like divide. You didn't react, you didn't feed into it, and you didn't give them the response they were expecting. It feels like you acknowledged what happened and you didn't react. Like you made it known that you saw it, but you didn't say anything, even though like you felt really off in your head. Like that would have hurt your feelings. They wanted you to respond emotionally here. You would explain yourself or react or try to fix it or try to ask, what does she have? I don't. But instead, you didn't do any of that. And that like threw them off pretty badly here. Because it's like they were waiting for that version of you to show up here. But I feel like the more you ignored what they were doing, the more they tried to do more things to intentionally get a reaction out of you. Yeah, 8 of Cups. You're not meeting them anymore. This is you not getting sucked back into that, not reacting the same way. This is probably like, this could have even been like, they expected you to care more about their goals than your own. But like when they presented them to you, you were more like neutral, calm, like it just didn't affect you anymore. And that really stuck with them here. Temperance. Yeah. Because so to them, it feels like they've lost this like influence over you, but they don't get, well, they're noticing they don't have that access to you anymore. And it seems like that's where their mind keeps going. Like, why aren't they reacting? Do they not care anymore? Did something change? And whether you meant to or not, pile 3, you are coming across as detached, emotionally detached, like more in control of yourself, your life, less affected by their shenanigans. And that's going to affect this relationship in a huge, huge way. So pile 3, what you changed here was your reaction to them, your response, like the way you engage when something happens. And they felt that like immediately, because it's not what they're used to from you. Wow. Okay, so I have one more pile after this. Otherwise, I have a bonus collective message at the end of this video. I'd love to see you there. Pile 4. Okay. So for this pile, you didn't change just how you communicate or how you react. It's what you're focusing or who you're focusing on now. This person felt that right away here. So there's this moment where they expected your attention to be like on them. And I feel like it usually is, but instead they got the Fool. It was not on them. It wasn't what they were used to. This feels like someone who's used to be the center of your world, a priority to you. not necessarily like in an obvious obsessed way, but like in the sense that you just naturally centered them. You checked in, you thought about them, you gave them a certain level of importance in your life. And with justice here, that's Libra, that energy feels redirected here. Like it's focused on yourself, the high priestess, your own life, your priorities, right? That's you, the high priestess. And this person picked up on that immediately. So this could have been something like they reached out to you, and instead of you dropping what you were doing or fully engaging the way you used to, you stayed steady here in the Empress. You stayed focused on what you were doing. You didn't change your attention towards them the way you usually do. So the Seven of Cups, that caught them off guard because they're like, what? I'm used to being the center of their world. And it doesn't really feel like they are anymore. And over time, this became like super noticeable to them. You're not prioritizing them the same way. You're not putting their emotions before you're not putting their emotions before yours the same way. You know, this could have even been a split second where they expected you to choose them over yourself in some way. Temperance. Yeah. They expect you to put your time, your focus, your energy in them instead of you, which is super selfish. You chose something else and it hit them. So to this person, it feels like they're no longer important in your life. Like they don't hold any weight in your life anymore. So that creates this internal question for them. They're like, why am I not their priority anymore? What changed? Where do I stand with them now? And this is Gemini here. So whether you did this intentionally or not, you're coming across as more independent now, more focused on yourself, less focused on them. And that changes this dynamic between you two in a huge way. So what you changed here is where your energy is being put, what you prioritize, what you think is important, you know? And they felt that change immediately in you. Why don't you follow us into the bonus collective message next? And we'll see if there's any additional messages for you there. If you felt drawn to this part of the reading, this is kind of like the underlying energy behind everything we just talked about. Okay. So I'm picking up on this person didn't just notice that something changed in you. They felt it like as it was happening. So that's what's been kind of sitting on them, weighing on them heavily here. This person felt like they felt it through your communication, through your energy, through your vibe, like through the way you respond or don't. And through like other people you're focusing on, whether that be yourself or someone else. And all of that together has created this like feeling that like something isn't the same anymore. Like they don't have the same hold over you anymore, the same access, the same influence, the same place in your world. So because you didn't sit them down and explain this, they're trying to figure it out themselves. This person's replaying moments, thinking back to like interactions with you two, trying to understand where this change happened. Whoa. So that creates this huge level of discomfort for them. You know, they're used to knowing how you respond. Communication right here. Right here. They're used to knowing where you stand. But now it's like muddy. They don't know what's important and what's not. So whether this was, you know, intentional on your part or not, you're coming across as more self-focused, more grounded in yourself, less centered around them. And that changes this whole thing. The overall energy here is you didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to explain anything. The way you changed spoke for itself, and this person felt it. Thank you so much for spending your energy with me. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.